Good morning and welcome to Legally Speaking with Attorney Antoinette Osborne. This program is for information purposes only. Oh, oh dear, here we go with the echo again. All right, so I got rid of that. Yes, so this program is for information purposes only. If you need legal advice, you can contact me, Antoinette Osborne, at 718-502-9137. That's 718-502-9137. The office focuses on divorce, immigration, bankruptcy, real estate, and estate matters. We also do eviction proceedings. There is a second office in Jamaica, West Indies, that focuses on legal representation if you are seeking to buy or sell property, or if you are looking to wrap up an estate. This morning, you can post your questions in the live. You can also text your question. I will be able to see it. In addition, you can call in at 718-502-9137. So it is Christmas. Christmas on Monday. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So I'm not going to keep you very long this morning, as I know you may have your last minute preparations to get done, and you may have some running up and down to do. You may need to go and get that last minute thing for your Christmas dinner. So I am going to not stay very long this morning. One, I wanted to wish all my subscribers and former radio listeners and my clients, friends, and family a happy, very Merry Christmas. I'm not sure if I think the Sunday before is New Year's Eve. So I'm not sure if I will be doing a live on New Year's Eve. If I am going to do it, I will post it on my Facebook page. So just tuning in for those of you who are just joining in. Welcome. Good morning, June. So this morning I won't be very long because it is, and let me not, it is Christmas Eve. So I know everyone has their last minute shopping to do, and whether it's food shopping or gift shopping. So I really won't be staying long this morning. Something recently happened concerning morning sunshine. So something recently happened concerning the federal marijuana criminal convictions. I want to look more into that, but I really don't think it is going to benefit a lot of people because these convictions often are statewide, and the pardon that is being sought to accord people with is for a federal crime. Most convictions for marijuana are state. So I need some time to take a look at what the president has done with regards to the marijuana convictions concerning the federal crimes, but it's really not going to benefit a lot of people where most of the convictions are in fact coming down statewide. So that's an issue I personally have, and I would like to encourage anyone where you have a conviction, if it is a drug conviction, if it is marijuana. I know a lot of states are relaxing their rules when it comes to marijuana and the convictions, how they treat it. But I want to remind immigrants, for marijuana purposes, marijuana is still a controlled substance offense, which is it's still on the list for immigration. So it's not an automatic pardon for you. For those of you who, for New York, you have your statewide marijuana convictions. They're now issuing new dispositions with regards to the vacator and the sealing of these convictions. The problem is when you get the new disposition, you're still going to see for a lot of people pled guilty. So I would encourage those people retain a criminal attorney who hopefully would be able to do a successful 440 motion with regards to that disposition. It's my firm belief you walking with a disposition, even though to the bottom it does speak to the fact that the conviction for most marijuana offenses, New York went on a rampage, vacating, dismissing and sealing them. The problem is on that disposition, it does say for a lot of people that you pled guilty. So that I personally don't believe that's going to help you. And I cannot find being a part of the AILA group. I have posted it so many times as to if anyone has taken in their clients with this new conviction, and no one has really responded in the affirmative. So I'm going to encourage those of you who have these convictions, retain a criminal attorney and see if you can do a 440 motion to assist you in getting a different disposition. Your existing dispositions are really not going to benefit you if you're looking to adjust your status, So that is something I'm going to encourage those of you who you have that conviction. Good morning, Trevor. Let's see, Suzette and Daphne. Good morning. So, for those of you who are just joining us, I am not going to do the full hour this morning. The reason being, it is Christmas Eve, and I know that you have your last minute shopping to do and your, whether it's your Christmas gifts or your Christmas dinners. So I am not going to keep you much longer this morning. And for those of you who are just joining, I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I want to remind you to be safe. It is a moment that if you can, please share it with your loved ones. Some people may have to work. Please, if you have a family member who is working, don't forget to call them on Christmas Day and wish them a very Merry Christmas. I will be tuning in for the next 2 weeks. I'm going back home, but I'm still going to be having the live. The office is closed from Christmas Day, December 25th, and we reopen on January 3rd. During this time, we are in fact going to be taking calls to set appointments for the new year. However, we will not be open for any in-person visits, any drop-offs, consultations, or dealing with any matters, as we will be closed. In the event of any emergency, you can text the office at 718-502-9137. I will be able to see it. You can also leave your messages on the voicemail. I will be retrieving messages during that time. All right. So just a reminder, between the 25th and also we're closed and we reopen on the 3rd of January. So we are basically at the end of the year. Please, when you go out to your, whether it's a family gathering or you are just going out to celebrate, please, if you are drinking, I am going to encourage you, do not drive. For me, I personally, I don't drink alcohol. So oftentimes if I do go out with my friends, I'm the one that's driving. So if you know you're going out and you're going to celebrate, please make sure that there is someone who is the designated driver who has not drank anything. We don't want to lose people in 2023. I want everyone to be safe, and we hopefully will be seeing everyone in the new year, including myself. We don't have any expirations on the bottom of our feet, but At the same time, I'm going to encourage you in your outings this holiday season to be safe. All right. So, for those of you who possibly are facing eviction, I will tell you this: the marshal during the Christmas period, it's like a lull during the holiday period with respect to evictions. Come back January morning, everyone is back in business. For those of you who you are in places and you do have a judgment of possession against you, one of the things that the court system will tell you is that if it is that your agreed time to stay or even designated by the judge when you're supposed to leave, that you do have the ability to file an order to show cause to seek an extension for a stay of time. However, this is not granted willy nilly. You should be able to prove that you were, in fact, looking for a place and you must have proof of it. It could be also that you are seeking to purchase a place and you are in contract, but you have not closed as yet. So I just want to, because it's hard to be evicted during the holidays, but I have generally found that the marshal is really not during this holiday period going out proactively. That does not mean it cannot happen, but I am going to encourage most of you, if it is that you do need time, you can file your order to show cause. I will tell you, I find the court system to be kind of liberal. There was one judge who I know, he was like, seriously, he had given her, I think, an extension of, she thought she was going to get probably another 2 months or whatever. I've seen it get denied. You have no plausible reason. Why is it you're seeking an extension of time? You have no proof of your searches. And let me tell you this, it's nothing like a tenant who, when they are being evicted and they feel that they have to be so cockety. And I remember distinctly, I've had tenants where, when I tell you, it's like a Miss World thing, coming into court, modeling and looking like $10 million, you have not paid your rent. And it's just amazing to me, the entitlement of people when it comes to staying in people's homes, living for free. I've had landlords where they come and they're like, Antoinette, I want to get rid of them. The person is paying their rent. The person is keeping their apartment clean. And I have to be like, let me tell you something. I don't see any real issue with this tenant. And because I really don't see an issue with this tenant, you may kick out this tenant who is paying you, who takes care of your place. I mean, some of these tenants take care of the place better than you. And I encourage my client to go home, think about it, because you may be kicking out a good tenant to bring in crosses. And she decided that she was not going to go through with the eviction proceedings. And I'm going to encourage you, landlords, being in landlord and tenant court, it is not a place that you want to be in. Please don't forget to like the live. Please don't forget to share the live. Unless you have a very agreeable tenant who wants to leave. During this time, during the proceedings, you're not collecting your rent. Yeah. And most of this rent is used to assist you to pay your mortgages. So if it is that you, in fact, have a good tenant, someone who is taking care of your place, and if you have other tenants in the building and they are not making the other tenants' life a living hell, I really think you should consider the evictions that you're looking to engage in. And yes, rents have gotten out of control, but you may kick out a good paying tenant who is not paying what is called market value right now, taking a piece of crosses because they come and state that they're willing to pay the higher rent. And after 2, 3 months, you get zero. You get absolutely no monies. So, and for tenants who have been in your place for quite some time, and probably they have experienced a rough time, and they're not able to pay their rent. And prior to this, they were like consistently paying. My thing is have a conversation, try and work it out with this person. You do have people who go on a rough time, but once they're back on their feet, you'd be surprised. They are looking to pay you back your money. So you have to, I think you have to exercise your conscience. I know it is a business transaction, but I don't want you to be so hard and fast that you actually end up in this court system where during the proceedings you're not getting rent and you're going to be losing a lot of money. One of the things too is when the people actually leave your place, you may not be able to find them. I find some landlords are not taking the work reference in terms of ensuring that their tenants are employed, where they're employed, not taking their social security numbers. I think anyone who is taking someone in your place, especially, and I just want to remind people, rooms are not legal unless sanctioned by the Department of Building, and you have to vet people that you're renting. I find that people are not vetting people, and you're pretty upset when you end up with a Jezebel that you are renting to, and they have absolutely no conscience in terms. Some of these people are destroying your place. Some of them, in addition to not paying rent, there's nothing dangerous like someone styling you and then owe you money. It just amazes me, Rasta. You're not paying my rent. You're hyping on your styling me. That does not make sense. But this is the absolute attitude of people that are out there. You're not getting a dollar, right? Yet still, it's the biggest and the fanciest of cars. Yeah, I've had clients where the tenants turn to them and after they buy a brand new vehicle and very seriously say, see your rent money there. Yeah, they have absolutely no shame and they take pride in not paying you. So I can't encourage you enough. I seriously think that people need to start vetting people more when you are taking these people in your place. Landlord and tenant court is not the, I would not encourage, if this is a court that you can avoid, and this is why I'm going to encourage you, screen your tenants thoroughly. When you have bought an investment property and you are seeking to get that money to pay your mortgage, and you have a non-paying tenant and you end up in the court system, I'll tell you this, we have filed a case in Brooklyn, and the court date is in April. So all this time, the tenant gets to stay in your place living for free. And this is the seriousness of what is going on. Don't even mention if the case has to go to trial. I think it was only recently, I think the judge picked up that the tenant was lying because the tenant was like, oh, she turns off the heat on me. And my client is able to monitor the heat from her house. So she knows at all time, and she doesn't live in the same building. At all times, she tries to ensure that there is heat in the place. But I think when the judge really picked up on that this woman was lying, she said, I am in the premises and it is 30 degrees and she has no heat and she refuses to give me heat. When the judge, anybody who owns a home, right, or operated the heating system, you know, if the weather goes to 30 degrees, the pipes are going to burst. So I think court dates at that time were coming in next year, May, for trials. And when she said that, and you could see the lie that she was saying, just was like, okay, he gave us a trial like 3 weeks away this year. Because sometimes you can see the Jezebel and the demons. Yeah, absolutely. And when both of them, because of course it's two women, so it's like a dislike. And the two of them are like cursing at each other. And I'm like, no, just let her go because your child date is close, right? But I just the attitude and the lies that you will face as a landlord. Another thing is, I remember distinctly, I had a client where the woman claimed she was a Sabbath keeper. So I turned to my client, and because the first time they were going to serve her, she told the process server that, how you coming to serve me on today's my Sabbath? So my process server called me. So I called my client was like, Antoinette, Sabbath keeper where? Eh? The whole heap of variable business that go on a Saturday. There's no way this woman could be a Sabbath keeper. Anyway, I'm not gonna show you props now. Come on, to get ready for this, right? Because as a landlord, this may happen to you. So now court day come, right? All of a sudden, this woman have a walking stick. So I turn to my client, because now she's giving the impression that she's disabled. And my client lives on the premises. So she was like, there has never been, not one day, this woman has used a cane or a walker. I'm going to show you how people dangerous. So every time she come to court now, she have this walking stick. All right. So what she did, and this is where God don't like ugly. And what she did was to call in the city. Now, for anyone that's in a basement, one of the dumbest things you can do if you are, and you have so much anger, and this is where you're gonna cut off your nose to spite your face. If you, okay, you hate the landlord so much. If you are in a basement and you go and call in the city, you have now evicted yourself faster than the judicial system would have evicted you. So my client was in her apartment, right? And you being in the court system, I can tell you, you will get despondent, especially when you have somebody in your place that is not paying you. And my client heard her on the phone because she was in the basement. So my client's on the first floor. She on the phone, and the way how she's so loud, right? Because some people them bright in them loudness. The way how she's so loud, my client distinctly heard her. And I think it was like November. Yeah. And she on her phone. And you know how it is. Hey, yes, girl. Man, I left her till about March next year when me feel like it. All right. But sometimes you're going through a moment, God is working. Yeah? So this stupid Jezebel decides, because she lick out against my client now, right? Yeah, because she cantankerous. Wicked, wicked woman. So she calling the city now. So when she come now, A client sitting home one day, who comes to the house? But the city. So she called in and she carried the inspectors. Yes, this is a basement and she illegally rent me. And she had gone. So the city, the gentleman from the city now has to, he's talking to the owner. So my client is now explaining the devastation that she has to put up with this woman. How them go on pan her, how them style her. Yeah, man. Because when them owe you money, it's like you are the debtor and they are the creditor. But they are the ones that owe you money. And the guy from the city was I think he was a yard man. And she said my client is this little old lady and she had tried. And he looked upon this woman cantankerous. And he says, you have 7 days. So the lady says, 7 days? 7 days to what, sir? You have 7 days to leave. And he put up the notice to vacate. Remember, about November, she plans that she not leave till March. So she thinks that the man a joke. So my client called me hot. I tell her the city just come in. And the man said she has 7 days. I said, good. Because she thinks the city playing. There's a notice to vacate on that door. So we're going to see, no, whether she are going to stay till March or if the city, because when the city coming down on you, they're going to do them job. Yeah, man. So the city worker said, Mama, don't worry. Don't even worry about the judicial system. She called the city, right? And we have to do our job. Basements are not livable places. She has 7 days to leave. All right. Watch the ride now. So on the 7th day, good girl in the house a cock her food because she really don't expect that she's going to get evicted. And I'll tell you how it works now. So she cock up and she go on, because she not understand when the city issue a vacate order. This is not a game now. You have to leave. I saw this something set. All right. So she didn't know, and she in her place and a go on, right? Me say, all of a sudden the city come now, because them a come to change the locks. So she quite comfortable here. Yes? Who that? Hey. Man said, lady, open up the door. I'm here to deal with the vacate order. Wow, she's shocked. She and her daughter in the house like kumununo, them turn duppy, they don't know what going around them. So the man now start change the lock. It is now sinking in what is going on. The locks are being changed and you're going to be placed outside because a vacate order was issued. And this is where some people get humbled. And the woman start one piece of balling. Remember, a few days ago, up here, styling she had gone with. Remember, she's not leaving till March. When she see it real now, and the man start disassembling lock now, because guess what? There's a notice to vacate, and you're wasting our time. She got on her knees and bawl and beg the man, time, please, sir. Yeah. The man said, I'll give you 2 hours. If you have not vacated this place in 2 hours, I am changing the locks. You see people run like chicken without head. Yeah? When you're about to be evicted. And this is where sometime, yeah? This is where sometime people think that the wicked is striving and they are in fact winning. No. Is it time is the master? And for young people who are watching, no sin goes unpunished. Yeah? And we have a saying in Jamaica, if you don't catch Kwashi, you go and catch him short. So you, the doer of wickedness, may not in fact feel the, I would say, the punishment. But this wickedness that you have sown, if it does not reach you, it's going to reach your children. And that's why be very careful how you live in life. Because somebody has to pay for this. Yeah? All right. So, morning Trevor, morning Pauline, morning Suzette, morning Renee, and morning Amarildo. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, I am not going to take up much of your time this Sunday morning. I am very cognizant of the fact that it is Christmas Eve and you have things to do. So I am not going to take up much of your morning. For those of you who have just joined, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I want you to stay safe during this holiday period. And in fact, I want you, if you are drinking, remember, do not drive. We want everybody to get into 2024. Also, as a reminder, the office will be closed between Christmas Day and we are reopening on January 3rd. During the holiday period, we are not taking any in-person consult or anyone coming into the office. We, however, are scheduling appointments for the new year. If you text or if you leave a message, we will retrieve it and we will respond. So Flavia is saying, good morning, Miss Osborne. Happy holidays to you and everyone online. Best wishes for a blessed and productive 2024. All right, so Renee is saying also blessed Sunday morning. Wow, Pauline is tuning in from Portland, Jamaica. That is so my mother's parish. I know you're going to get some sweet cane down there. All right, so what can I do but encourage people, especially for the new year, even if you have crosses in 2023, right? Even if you have crosses in 2023, for 2024, leave it in 2023. Yeah? The level of wickedness that if you have engaged in 2023, yeah, man, anoint yourself with some olive oil and create a new you for 2024. All right, so it is 9:39. I'll spend like 5 more minutes and that's it. I am going to release everyone because I know it's Christmas Eve and there are a lot of last minute stuff that you probably want to get done. So I am so not going to keep you very long this Sunday. I completely understand that you have things that you need to do. All right, so just a reminder for those of you who you have your immigration applications that are on the way. I am gonna urge you review your documents. This is something even when my clients come in, I encourage them to review. They have to read it. Oftentimes they are placed in the conference room to do this because I don't want anybody to rush and you just completely make a mistake and not pick it up. Yeah. So I'm gonna encourage for those of you. I remember one of my clients, he on the children section, he said that he didn't have kids, right? And when we went into the interview, the officer asked him, "Do you have kids?" And he said, "Yes, four." So me ask you if you have picked now ah. So the officer said, "Well, I need the children's information because if they are not on this, you're gonna have a serious problem if you're seeking to file for them in the future. You may not be able to." But said, remember every pick me and then date of birth one time. Yeah. So what children are red flags, however, to immigration? If you are in a marriage and you get pregnant, and this marriage is to accord you with an immigration benefit, and you have a child, and on that birth certificate, it's a different name than your husband's name, that is such a red flag for fraud. If you are looking to benefit from a marriage and you have a child for someone else a few months before you get married, that is also another red flag to immigration for fraud. And this is why some people are very reluctant to reveal the identity of their children. They sometimes do not put it on their immigration paperwork. And I'll tell you this is such a disservice. You have children that are not able to where their parents are not filing for them, because what it would do is put their paperwork in jeopardy. So they're not going to file. I think Amarilla says, "Laugh out loud. How do you forget your kids?" Yeah, you'd be surprised what people do not remember. And I'll tell you this. I was doing a Zoom conference with one of my clients in, I think it was out of Benin or Cameroon, I can't remember, in Africa, right? It's a French speaking part. So, of course, my client's husband, of course, is from there, so he speaks French, but I don't want him to be the translator, right? I want somebody independent because he will say the answer. I want somebody who is totally independent of them to translate. And we are on the Zoom, and his girlfriend is a dressmaker, right? Beautiful clothes. Oh my goodness, beautiful clothes. So we are so on the Zoom, and the simplest of things she can't remember. You're together for years. How is it that you don't remember these things? But you can see she's a very simple person, beautiful soul, but too simple. And I had to look at him, and his sister was the one translating. And I had to get serious now. She needs to get her act together. Yeah? So it's better if they mess up with me than to go. She can't go in an interview like that. You sounding crazy, fam. You're the crazy. The basic things. Yeah? But this is how, and oftentimes outside of the United States, people take, they don't realize how serious these interviews are. And one wrong answer can mess you up, right? So that, because he was planning to go for the interview, and to go to anyone who's been to Africa know it's not cheap, right? So for him to go, and they don't have to let you as a petitioner into that interview. And to be honest, it's more beneficial if the consular officer is just speaking to the beneficiary to hear their side of the story. Because anytime they are sending for the petitioner, where the petitioner has to come in and actually come to the interview, is because they suspect fraud. It is never good where someone is being interviewed at the consulate and they have to send to the petitioner, because right now you are on the risk of being denied. So anytime they send for the petitioner, that's never good. So she went, and when I was doing my pre-conference with her, I had to let her understand, you really don't get a second chance at this interview like that. Like, tomorrow is the day, and you have to have your act together. And let me tell you something. Why, I mean, I know if me could have ever find a man in a family life like how my client love this woman. Oh God. When I tell you, I can say to my client, I need X, Y, Z. Hurrah! The man would have swim to the corners of this earth to make sure, because I let anyone know. Culturally, it's rough when you have someone in your life, your partner or whatever, when you're not of the same culture. And oftentimes you will find people are going home, yeah, to get their spouses, because it is such a relatable event where you are of the same culture, and the attitudes, and people are wondering why they're going home. When you are with people here, and I don't even care if they're from the same country with you, it's a different mindset. Yeah. And I'll never get my client from Haiti. He said, Antoinette, I can't do this anymore. I have to go home to find a wife. He said, the Haitian woman that is raised here is different from the Haitian woman that he will meet back home. Why? Because the one home still holds on to the cultural norms. The one here gets acclimatized into a different value system. That's how I put it. And he said, I don't care how much trips I have to take to meet the right person. I am definitely not picking up someone here. And I said, wow, that's rough, because you have people here who, and this guy was a really good guy, right? And the mindset was, it's not gonna happen for him here. And he went home and he found somebody. And it's as simple as that. So when you see people traveling, bringing people, I think it is extending an understanding that they're not able to get that nexus that they so desire with someone here. So Sunshine says anxiety, nervousness, and stress can make you forget things, looking like you have dementia. I'm telling you, well, honey, that dementia was not going to work with me, and unfortunately, you know, semi rough. Yeah, man. By the time the interview, the conference was over, she realized how serious it was, and it's a good thing, because the next day she got and her case was approved. I'm a real dog. says, happy holidays to all my legally speaking family, full joy and be safe. Thanks much for sharing your time, space, energy, and information. More blessings, Miss Osborne, for 2024. Thank you so much, Amarilda. So, on this note, on that last note, I am going to end the live. Once again, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. I want you to stay safe, spend some time with your family and also your loved ones. All right, take care, enjoy your Sunday, live good.